Hey, the CM Studios here. This video I meant to make and get out towards the end of February. It's currently about mid-March. Um, that's my fault. However, I should have it good now. I should be able to do this. So I put out a topic early February. Don't remember when, it's been a while. But you guys had posted some questions that you wanted me to answer, so that's what I'm going to do now. So the first question is from Rod, who has actually given me 3 questions. But the first one is, when and how did you start hopscotching? So I started hopscotching back in 2013. It's been quite a few years since the beginning, but I just remember searching through the App Store, looking at all the different apps and games I could download and stuff. I come across Hopscotch. I took a look at it, looked at the little images. You can see it and take a preview of the app. Thought it looked pretty cool, so I downloaded it. Started messing with all the tutorials, actually started trying to code stuff, and I really did enjoy it, and so that's just where I am now. Okay, so Rod's second question is there any creators you look up to the most? So this question is kind of hard to answer, but I'd have to give a no, mostly because I don't really view the community tabs all that often. Typically when using Hopscotch, I'm really just coding on my own projects. All my ideas come from apps off the App Store and stuff, but usually it's just my own ideas put into projects. But I mean, it's just kind of hard for me to really say that I have looked up to somebody in the Hopscotch. Alright, Rod's third and final question: where do you get inspiration from? Usually my inspiration comes from other apps and games that I play. A lot of my ideas and projects start with just throwing some design that I have in my head that looks cool. It may not end up looking as good as I want it to. Perfect example, like Dodge 3, its original design was just plain background with stuff flying through it. Completely changed that to some like different style that I've never tried before, and that's just kind of how my projects are built. All right, next up is a question from Awesome Girl 25, who asks, what kind of project do you like coding? I'd say my favorite genre of projects are games, mostly because it's really what I started with and it's what I enjoy doing the most. I've tried art in the past. It's not really my strong suit. I mean, you can say they're good, but it's not really what I like doing. But games, I've always been coding stuff like that. I've done simulators, started with simulators, and just kind of went on from there. But yeah. Next question comes from Gui TV, who asked, what's your favorite coded music project? The thing with this question is that I've never actually coded a music project specifically before, but if I had to give like an actual answer, I think the music in Space Rockets that Serenity had helped me with, I really like it. It's probably my favorite music in any project that I've created. Alright, so this next one is from Goat Games, who asked, how come you don't do collabs? Well, I mean, I'd be happy to do collabs. The only thing with doing that is I don't feel that I can really commit to putting the time into that. Mostly because with me in coding, I can easily lose motivation and just not work on something for like a week or two. It's really bad. But I have done collabs in the past, which I can share with you if you want to know what those were, because it was me and French Wave, and I think they were some pretty good projects. Asian Ninja, can I be in your video? Sure. Next question comes from True Harry Potter Lover, who asked, can you give any beginner advice? I'm not exactly the person to be asking beginner advice for, mostly because I did a lot of my coding differently. I never really looked for help on stuff. I always did things myself. If I couldn't figure it out, I have to figure out why on my own. It's kind of how I've really learned how to do things, just off of memory. But if I were to give you some actual advice, I would look at the tutorials. Those things can help you. What's funny is that Save It All, my original game, came off of that, like, don't drop your phone. and I built off of that, and it actually did really well in my opinion. Alright, next question is from Albus, who asked, can you give good ideas to code? If you really want some good ideas, I would look at the Project Inspiration Lounge topic. You can find that in the community category on the forum. That topic has some pretty good ideas I think you'll like. William04Gamer A asked, what's your favorite food? My favorite food is actually pizza. Stylish Poop Emoji 33 asked, what was your reaction to becoming a mod? It was kind of insane to find that Anna had so much trust in us, and it's been really fun being offered such a position like this. Next question comes from Tem, who asked, where did the inspiration for space rockets and their original Dodge come from? Back in 9th grade of high school, me and a friend were in a computer class. We were playing cool math games. There was this game called Learn to Fly 3. It was basically just a colony of penguins trying to build a rocket to go to the moon. That's all the game was, and I thought that would have been a really cool thing to recreate into Hopscotch. So Dodge didn't really come from anywhere specific. It was just an idea that came to mind. It was just your car on the road, just trying to dodge things for a certain amount of time. Nothing crazy until I started updating it, but that's really just kind of where it came from. Next question comes from Pumpkin Girl, pizza topping of choice. What's funny is I think she knows that pizza is my favorite food, but you know, I'm really basic, but if I had to have a topping, I would probably choose sausage. Next question is from Waffle, who asked, what drink do you prefer, water, juice, tea, or coffee? And to be honest, I would probably just drink water. Next question is from LR10123. Did you have any past usernames, or have you always been Tcms? So, when I first started Hopscotch, I had a completely different account that I'm using now. I switched over to an account with one of my friends who stopped using the app pretty quickly. But technically I was always TCMS, but it was written differently. So back then I used to be called the Code Mixers, and eventually I turned that into the Code Mixers Studios, but instead of that long name, I just put CM for Code Mixers in the middle, so now you got these CM Studios. So next question comes from Fundardo, who has given me about 4 questions. On a scale of water to rock, how hard is being a leader? My answer is grass. Next question is, how much do you cringe when looking at old projects? To be honest, I don't really cringe, it just really makes me wonder what was going through my mind back then. Next question is, have you ever tried coding on iPad? If so, do you prefer coding on iPad or iPhone? And I actually have tried coding on iPad. There are a couple projects that were half and half, but a couple of the collab projects that me and Frenchwave did, I did on my iPad. Five Nights at HS was coded on my phone, but tested on an iPad. It wasn't really more created on it. But if I had to give you a preference, it'd be the phone, mostly because it's just easy to pick up and it's just what I'm used to coding on. Ron Astern123 asked, do you want to be like Cohen? And no, I'd rather just be myself. And the final question from Goat Games, are you a good coder? And I consider myself to be average. Hey guys, just got done editing this video. I just wanted to let you know thank you for all the support you've given me in the past years, and I really hope to continue getting out some great products for you all.